Not too bad. So, I was looking over your sheet. It looks like you've been on quite the climb in Offlane
Yes, I have.
recently. So, and you said your goal is to gain another 1,000 MMR or so. So, I guess I'd like to hear more about what you think. It says laning efficiency and trying to read team fights. Like, what would be success for you today?
Well, this game I specifically picked because we did good in the lane, but in the match we lost it somewhere, and I can't identify by myself where. So I think it would, getting that, reading the game better, learning how to read the game better would be beneficial for me, specifically the mid game. Because I play a lot of zoo heroes,
Sure.
and I feel like the sometimes it's easy to slip away, let the game slip away when you're playing zoo.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. Are you the Lycan in this game?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I feel you. Let's check it out. You can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Let's check it out. So I'll fast forward through the laning phase unless I see something glaring. You said you have a good lane,
Hmm.
so um, check it out. So yeah, the goal for today, it sounds like, is to give you a bit of a direction of playing the map, maybe macro movements and
Yeah.
overall. So like, I guess when I think about macro movements on heroes like Lycan, it says you're silver tier. Like, how many games of Lycan do you have?
Uh, like 70.
Okay, so like a decent amount. How would you? How do you visualize like team fights this game?
Visualizing team fights for me, I was specifically thinking about killing the Switch Doctor and harassing this Invoker, hitting the squishy heroes.
1 second here.
Maybe letting the Snap kind of deal with the Slark with her AoE, and at least that's how I saw it when I remember when I was picking and starting the game. I just see the supports, and then I think the Invoker first pick, so I thought it would be good because he can run these guys down, and they really can't do much about it.
Okay. How about like? Actually, we'll play the game out, and I'll ask some follow up questions later. See you
Mm.
there. We'll come back to that one. Good to get a first impression of what you're thinking. Nice. Yeah, you like the micro. A little bit, unfortunate that you took some bad trades while you were looking, but it's understandable.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Hmm. Yeah, I can see why the lane's going pretty well. You're just kind of bing chilling CS in here.
Yeah.
Fire comes to your lane. Okay. Yeah, a little bit weird when it's right before your home dawn that she comes to your lane. Now you're kind of strong to pressure. Now you're running at this guy. Forcing a bounty hunter rotation. Backing off. Getting Lotus. I've actually noticed 33 goes for 3 Sage's Masks on this hero. I don't know if that is the right amount, but it's funny. I'm noticing
Yeah, I
you
saw
have a...
that too, but I don't. 'Cause I feel like I don't know when it's too much.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just noticing a bit of mana problems. I remember when I played Lycan a lot in the old days, I'd usually buy a mango around the time that I was 6 because I usually needed it.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, yep, things go well. You guys break open the tower. It's exactly what Lycan wants to do. So I think the most important thing here when this happens, because when you're a summons guy, you're all
Mm-hmm.
about like the micro movements, right? Of like efficiency on the map.
Yeah.
So for me, I would be using my Wildkin to pull this camp into this wave back here. And that's, if
Mm.
I do that, then my hero farms the wave. I farm these 2 camps, and Slarg is just missing a wave back here. So I think this is
Ah.
especially important against carries that don't jungle very fast. But also, when you have the lane like pushed into here, and you're
Mm-hmm.
taking these 2 camps, like, what's left for him if you pull this wave, right? It's like literally this and this. So
Yeah.
bursting open the tower, I think the most important thing when you do that is you have 2 options. You either break out onto the rest of the map, you know, like say you didn't use your ulti, right? And you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to go push this wave in and then go to mid. So
Yeah.
like for me, since that maybe you end up doing that, right? Maybe you end up going mid here. But my 2 options here are to go mid and collapse the map that way, or to pull this camp. And because your ulti is on cooldown, I would pull the camp.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do here, and that's like the best macro play in my opinion. And it does add up a lot, denying like 200 gold to a Slark. He probably is gonna just scoop it up underneath his tower now, I'd imagine. I mean, he's not even farming it, which is interesting.
I think what we do is like we wait for my ult and then we go mid, but yeah, I can see what you mean.
So basically, what happens if you pull that wave is that this
Mm-hmm.
wave isn't here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one right here. So what ends up happening is, look at the timer. You would this creep wave is going to be walking. So you would like cut it
Uh-huh.
right here, and then you start walking towards mid after that,
Yeah.
and it creates this like. Basically, if by pulling this camp, not only are you denying it to Slark, but you're preventing yourself from walking over here. You now only have to walk to here, which is next to the camps you want to be farming, right?
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
it's like a double efficiency move. So I just say what you're doing is giving Slark a little bit more gold, and then you're making it
Yeah.
so you're farming the lane back here, and then you're not really able to collapse on mid this way. It's like with what's happening on the map, yeah, I like that you're gonna go mid here. But in an ideal world, what happens is we push the lane in, we pull it, lane comes back to here, we push it in again, and when we push it in, we go. So you kind of like left the lane unpushed, which
Yeah.
is not ideal. I think it's still correct that you go to the mid lane like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to see that as I voice it, that pull is so important because it ping pongs the wave equilibrium bottom and makes it so you make this move much quicker. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay, cool. Because for a lot of 5K, 6K players, you guys usually have like a good fundamental of what to do in the game. A lot of times it's how do we speed it up or make it even more efficient? Or how do we adjust to like given matchups? That's like usually what I have to teach 5 to 6K players. So in this exact
Mm-hmm.
case, this is just like one small mechanic thing that I wanted to like lay it out for you exactly what it's going to feel like and the ramifications of it. And the rest of your
Mm-hmm.
gameplay is effectively the exact same. You just get an extra 300 gold, you do it 20 seconds quicker, and Slark misses 200 gold.
Yeah.
That's like the effect, and it has that's why it's something that you see very commonly, is that pull camp is like fucking annoying for the carry. Like I hate you when you do that. So okay, so you actually took the wolf instead of an ancient. That's interesting. We're running down the Slark. Okay. Obviously,
I don't think I needed to use ult there,
yeah, I
but
mean, I've played enough Lycan that you just waste your ult sometimes. So we're talking about macro play here.
mhm.
So we get a kill. This is the time of the game where it's ultra important to be as efficient as possible. So, like, we get a kill, and the first thing we need to think is we're either, one, taking an objective, or two, delta splitting for farm. That's pretty much it, right? Do you think, maybe I'm missing something. Is there any other outcome you think of? I'm not trying to be, like, a smartass. Do you feel like that
No,
encompasses
like
everything?
with this draft, and it's like I feel like with this specific draft that we have, like we're so tied to our cooldowns that with both of me and Snap's ults, kind of hard to make a play. So I think I would think that you can either just get an objective or farm.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Because in other lineups, the other option is to kill more people.
Yeah.
So the three options after a fight, I mean, we'll just put this, I'll just do this. Thoughts after a fight is, one, kill more people. Two, get an objective. Three, split up and farm. So where are we at in this one?
I would say we split up and farm. That's what I would think.
Okay, and what drives that decision making for you?
Well, my ult is on cooldown. The Snap's ult is on cooldown.
Okay.
There's like the position on the, I guess you could take the gate if you wanted to get tier 1, but we have the tier 1 mid down, tier 1 bot down.
Yeah, so a good rule of thumb, for me at least, is that if by the time we get to the tower, that guy's respawned already, it's bad. So when you say all that stuff, it takes me 27 seconds to go push this creep wave and then get to the tower, or it takes me 27 seconds to walk through this and go here.
Yeah.
So, like, everything you said is true, but, like, I think it really is as simple as if we can't hit the tower before he's alive, we're like, not going for a tower. Like, in my head, I've just insta-written this off because I know it's going to take that much time. So, out of all, it's not that I was like, look, I needed to know what you were specifically thinking, but I wanted to tell you that I'm thinking, where are the creep waves? How quickly can we get to a tower? If the answer is not in significantly less than 27 seconds, then I'm not getting a tower.
Yeah.
Right. If you still had ulti, maybe you could look to pressure bottom tower, but even then I probably still wouldn't. I would just run, I would just split up and farm and maybe run, I'd maybe farm towards the opponent. Maybe I'd go through the gate if I still had ulti, something like that. But so, we're splitting up and farming. So, we're in agreement. I don't know exactly what you were thinking here, but that's what we would want you to be thinking right now. Where we do a quick check of, okay, we're not going to kill people. That's not what our lineup does. Can't get an objective. And so now we're in split up and farm mode. So in an ideal world, that takes, like, it becomes muscle memory eventually. You might even have that muscle memory already. Like, ideal world, that's like a 1 second, 2 second calculation. You know, if it's 5 seconds, it's fine. Over time, you'll get faster, whatever. But so we do that calculation, and now we have to think, like, where does everybody go? And the reason why I've paused here is because you guys do that very poorly. Okay, so that's why I paused. So, like, in this exact instance, what I'm thinking is that the predominant wave clearers are Rubik and Snapfire. Hoodwink's okay, but, like, Rubik is a support that likes to take lanes, and Snapfire is a core that's really good at taking lanes. You, out of all these heroes, is the best at jungling, like, by far. So then I'm like, I'm probably going to jungle. So that's what I'm thinking first. And then I'm like, well, I also don't want to, like, just farm passively back to here. It's not like I'm super weak or anything. So how can I farm in a way that's, like, relevant to the game, but still jungling? So for me, that would be walking like this to this to this. Because that's a creep wave to push, and the only reason I feel safe to do that is because I see this. Like, I see a Tide Hunter up there. It's, like, very unlikely that the opponent's, like, making a play on you right now. Right? Like, it's just very unlikely. So I would go to this camp first. If I proceed to see nobody else other than Tide, maybe I don't go to mid-wave. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm like, oh, maybe they're trying to kill me with Witch Doctor, Invoker, Bounty Hunter. Maybe I'll just go back to my Ancients. Like, Basically, if I see more heroes top, I'm doing this into this. If I don't see more heroes top, I'm doing this into this into this. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's... Any questions about, like, how I... Like, not even, like, the answer I came to, but the way that I came to that answer? Are there any questions about that?
I guess not. Like, it makes sense, like, when you say it, like, it makes sense. I think, and when I'm playing, like, I have these ideas, but I just never put it into words, so to
Okay.
speak. So
Yeah.
when you say it, like, makes sense to me.
Okay. What part about... So the first thing for me is, right now, the way I think about Dota is that you guys do a lot of the right things at 5K. And a lot of times, it's like I said, it's either not fast enough or right matchups. And it's also that your ideas cover 80% of the games, and the other 20%, maybe you're missing the knowledge, or you're not executing on the knowledge you have. Like, you're... Something like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? So, in this case, what... If you could give your best attempt, like... What is... You say it makes sense to you what I said, but what's kind of blocking you from executing like that? Are you thinking about
I
other
think
things, or... Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think when I'm playing, at least, like, you get in this mode where, like, you're just, like, going through the motions of, like, the thousands of games you've played beforehand,
Yeah.
and it's easy to get into, like, you're not as analytical. You're kind of just clicking on the map, so to speak.
Yeah. I
So
gotcha.
I feel like that's, like, one of the hard parts about executing, like, these small plays is, like, they're, like, new, right? Like, it's like a new way of thinking and executing stuff that maybe, like, it's not as normal,
Yeah.
like, not as... So I feel like that's where I have trouble in putting these into practice. It's like, not that you don't know how to do it, it's that, like, you're so used to playing a certain way that you get stuck in that.
Okay. I see. Yeah, I mean, some people, it's a knowledge gap. I mean, honestly, I've noticed with most Dota players, especially around your bracket, it usually is some blocker, like you're talking about.
Mhm.
It can be autopilot, which is kind of what you sound like you're describing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so a lot of times I have to get people to snap out of it. And for me
Mhm.
personally, when I find myself in autopilot, the most impactful thing is to give myself a, like, logical course of thought that is laid out before the game. So
Mhm.
an example is this, right? I say, all you have to do going into the game is remember to think about the thing when you end a fight or a gank.
Mhm.
Thoughts after a fight or a gank, right? I'll say thoughts after a successful fight. We'll say that because, like, in this case, we're talking about going for more kills, taking an objective, or farming. So it's like, what I'm basically saying is, as an offlaner, you win a team fight, you get a kill, and all you need to remember is that's the moment that BSJ said a pivotal change needs to be made in your thinking. So, like,
Yeah.
the rest of the game, you're autopiloting, but
Mhm.
this part we need to draw attention to. So the two parts I've
Yeah.
drawn attention to are when you kill the tower in bottom,
Mhm.
which only happens once a game.
Yeah.
Like, you want to focus on, am I going to go to mid tower next? Which I probably am, because you're like, that's what Lycan and Beastmaster and these heroes do. So it's like,
Mhm.
I'm going to go to mid tower next, but in the meantime, am I going right now? So am I going like this, where I, like, push in the wave and do that? Or am I going to pull this camp and then do it?
Mhm.
So that's the only decision you need to make when you kill the tower. So
Yeah.
so it's like, let's just quickly do this here. Trigger 2 moments in the game to shift to snap out of autopilot is what we're gonna call it here for you. Is 1 is right after you kill the tier 1 tower. Are
Mhm.
you let's see. Are you... I'm typing notes, you'll get these later. Are
Yeah.
you going straight to mid lane by pushing lane and walking there? Or pulling staying bot or staying in lane a bit longer, pulling hard camp and playing the macro game down there, basically. macro game where you are. So those for me are pretty much like 90% of scenarios that's what you would do there. And so what I found when it comes to people that struggle with autopilot, and myself included, is that the reason why we're stuck in autopilot is because we don't know what to do to get out of it. So for me, it's the way to get out of it is to give one simple, not simple, but like one concrete thought that I'm going to change. And then just be like, well, the rest of the game I get to be on autopilot. So we're adding like one thought, and our goal is like, oh, we add that one thought, and then 20 games of that's the only thought that's outside of our autopilot, that eventually, seeps into our autopilot, and we move on to the next thought. Does that?
Yeah.
So for you, for you after this session, I'd just be like, for the next 15, 20 games, however long you feel like you're just doing it automatically, you take the tower and you make a concrete decision there, right? And then we see that part get more efficient. Stuff like that. It's another 50 to 100 MMR if you think about it, like across every game. Like that's what those type of things are. It could be more, honestly, but it's hard to quantify exactly how much everything's MMR is. But it will have a a non-zero impact on your MMR. Just quick disclaimer: my food delivery was like way late, so I'm gonna have to get up in a second to go get that.
You're good, bro.
So then, the next one. Any questions about the tower one? The one after you take this tower.
Now the tower one makes sense.
Okay, that one's very simple. So for this one, this one's more of a graduate level. That was like a 101 level class here. This one's more of a graduate level stuff. So after you get a successful fight or a gank, which is like, that's going to happen 5 to 10 times a game minimum. You know what I mean? It's, are you going to go kill more people? Are you going to get an objective? Usually these, like, you have to run through these, but the way you go about them is like most players in your bracket kind of know that stuff, for the record. Like, you're like, I want to get bottom tier 2, so we're going to just push the lane and get it. Or like, I want to get Roche because it's bottom, I'm going to go. Like, I'm not as worried about those two. Most of the time when I've coached, that's not the problem. It's, what do we do when we don't have a clear objective to do with this? You agree with that? It sounds like you agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've crossed out those two. And we're like, so what I basically am saying is you get a successful fighter gank, and that triggers you to say, are we killing more people or are we getting an objective? If the answer is yes, you know what to do. If the answer is no, then this is our time to apply outside of our autopilot. Okay? So, this is basically something that this one you may need to do after games. Like, this is things you would watch for, you would watch replays for this. Because what I'm telling you, where I thought, okay, Rubik and Snap are the best laning heroes, I would be like, oh, Snap has Boots of Travel, he can TP away, Hoodwink's probably going to go clear this wave, so I'm going to go here, and since there's a guy here, I'm going to go here. I'm just being honest with you, I think all of that in about 2 seconds. Like, I'm not trying to flex on you, I'm just telling you that that's what happens when that becomes autopilot, right?
Yeah.
So... but you're not there yet. Like, let's not fucking worry about that. One step to get there is to think these questions. Let's give you some questions, okay? And this is why it kind of needs to be in replays. Like, you need to do a replay of yourself. Like, basically, say you're playing 20 games. Oh, my food's here. I'll be right back. Sorry.
All right.
Hey, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're good, boss.
Okay, so, real quick. You know, what I was basically getting at with all this is that the decision... Did they really just, like, fucking... There's, like, shit on my drink. And now I have shit on my fingers. I'm really sorry. I'll be right back.
You're good, bro.
You know, I just needed that, like, afternoon caffeine spike of Pepsi, and you know, I can't have it because it has sweet chili sauce on it. Okay, so I'm back. So I want to pause for a second. I feel like I was going a bit fast.
Yeah.
Good thing that I had this snap out of it for a second here. My goal here is that with the first one, I think it's really clear that the gap between what I was telling you to do and what you were already doing is like pretty small. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's like instantly applicable. I'll just do that one. So that's an example of, I think if I watch your replays in a week, you would get that one. You know, if you focused on it, you'd get it in a week. But when it comes to the stuff like I'm about to tell you, the reason why I laid out all of the things that factored into my decision is to show you that it is a complex decision. It's like the right answer is so simple. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. But it doesn't matter how simple the answer is. It matters how hard it is to find that simple answer. You know, like, what information do you need to find that simple answer? So rather than you thinking coming out of this session that you're expected to do that farming pattern because it's so simple, I want you to focus on the fact that there are like 5 points of data that we need to gather. And if you get better at gathering one of them, your decision will be closer to being accurate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's generally speaking when there's these multi-factor problems, which there's a decent amount of them in Dota. I think the only way to really meaningfully improve on them is to watch some replays sometimes. So, like, you're playing 20 games a week. I would recommend whenever you get to learning this, that 3 of the games you watch back with this in mind. Or however many you can mentally take without getting exhausted and being bored. You know, whatever the threshold is, I'd recommend 3. But if it's only 1 or 2, or you think you can do 5 or 6, go ahead. But the whole point is we still want you to enjoy just playing the game, so, you know, got to find the right balance there. But I do think you have to watch replays, or you're not gonna do this very well. So replays. I'm just putting in the notes. Goal of replay is to teach yourself to ask the questions that you have to ask in the live game, but now you have like infinite time to answer them. Right? That's the goal, right? So questions about splitting up and farming. Let's just kind of lay them. Like, I'm just gonna kind of spitball them. I might adjust them. Let's think. Who is gonna take the wave closest to us? That's an immediate question. So in this case, it would I would be like, it's probably Hoodwink or Rubik. People like, I don't know if you think what I think, but I don't want to walk over there. Like, you know what I mean? It kind of feels bad to like get this kill and then walk this way. You agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like you kind of knowledge like, oh, they'll take it. I'm not gonna go get that. So that's like step 1. Who's gonna take the wave closest to us? Who on our team jungles? So in this case, because Snapfire jungles, you actually have two junglers. So oftentimes what that means is that one person goes down and one person goes up. Like, and this is, I'm talking about like super high level play, but like, if let's say, so who on our team jungles? If more than one person goes each direction. Right? So either Snapfire goes here and you go here, or Snapfire goes here and you go here. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So all of this is about the fact that we're trying to get as much GPM as possible while this guy's dead. So we want to turn this, like, what is this? It's not showing, but you guys got like 300 gold from killing this guy. We want to turn that into like as much effective gold as possible. That's what we're talking about here. So question. This is a bit of a quiz. I don't usually like giving like quizzes, but what do you think decides who goes here and like who goes here?
Well, maybe I guess if you have one person showing on the map, it would be the person who can more quickly escape or survive encounter with the enemy, like if in case someone is trying to go on you or
Yeah. We're gonna pause you there. It's the more survivable guy.
yeah.
Literally, that's it. So, you had it right. So more survivable guy goes aggressive direction. And I think you'll know most of the time, like, what that means, right? Like, this is passive direction, this is aggressive direction, right? So, in general, that can fluctuate, but I think your game sense will answer that question yourself. Like, if I was teaching a 2K player, I'd have to talk to them about what that means. But I don't need to talk to you about that, I don't think. So, who's going to take the wave closest to us? Who on our team jungles? If more than one person goes, if more than one, then one person goes each direction. Now, if it's only you, you just get to choose. Are you survivable or not? Right? Like, are you gonna go here or are you gonna go here? That's same principle applies. So in this case, what I was trying to say is because I see tied top, I would feel survivable enough to go here.
Yeah.
But if Tide continues to be the only one showing top for the next 20 seconds, I probably don't feel comfortable walking through here. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
Okay. So there's nuance to this, but that's why, like, it's literally me paused on 1429 in this for 15 minutes of this coaching session talking to you about this. So
yeah, different scenarios.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah. So basically, every time I'm farming, think of each camp as a checkpoint for the aggro versus passive jungling decision. So, like, when you're right here, if you haven't gained any more information, you're going to go this way. Or this way. It just depends. You know?
Yeah.
Depends on what you see and where your team is farming and stuff. But if you see more information, that means you can be more aggressive, then you would just keep going. Like, that's how I look at it. It sounds simple, but that it's really just I recheck that question of who jungles? Oh, that person. And after I'm finishing this camp, am I going to continue backing up or am I going to continue moving forward? And if I can move forward towards a creep wave, that's like money right there. We love that. If we can do that. So, you know, for me, usually the most aggressive direction is towards where I see the opponent and where a creep wave is. That's like not only the most aggressive, but the most efficient direction. And so we would need a reason to not go that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could even by default just assume I'm supposed to run to a jungle camp that connects me to the next creep wave I want to farm. You could just assume that for, 25 games. What's going to happen is you're going to randomly die walking into 3 heroes sometimes. But maybe that's a good autopilot to get, and then you would eventually be like, okay, now I need to learn when not to do that.
Yeah.
It's an option. I'm just saying, like, you can break it down into simpler steps where you just make assumptions, and it's going to take a bit longer, but it's a bit less, like, mentally taxing. If that makes sense. Okay. So I would equate that to going, like, do I want to go to the gym 6 days a week and get in shape in 2 months, or do I want to go like 3 days a week and get in shape in 6 months? You know, that's kind of the analogy I would use for that one.
Yeah.
Operating on assumptions will make it take longer, but it makes it less, strenuous. Any questions on what I've said so far? Sorry, did you say anything? I didn't hear it.
I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I would say there's not really any questions because for what you said, it's kind of like across multiple games and it's every scenario. I think it's something I have to like look at multiple games to like find some questions to ask.
Absolutely, man. I think that's a good instinct, by the way. I think one of the noobish things people do sometimes is I don't want to call it noobish, but I'll say that to them, and then they'll start talking to me about hypotheticals. Well, what if this guy does that? What if that guy does that? And I'm like, well, you want to go over every, billion permutations of, like, Dota games, So, yeah, I think that's good. I think what your instinct is correct that, let's just let you play some games out. So, like, let's just kind of talk about what, fundamentally is wrong here. All 3 of your teammates walked back towards the creep wave, right? So, like, ideally, Snapfire would have gone here. Like, he's messing up too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He lets Rubik take the wave. Hoodwink looks like he's farming the small camp, maybe. Yeah, so he's doing a good job. And then you're doing the you're over here. Why? Oh, you're on your wolves. I see. So you were farming the camp, mismicroing a little bit, but then we saw that there were 2 heroes top, the Witch Doctor. So, like, because I saw that, I would go like this.
To the mid.
Yeah, that's what I would do here. But now you and Snapfire walk back to the wave. So this is you, like, if you knew, like, very rarely do you ever want to get a kill, farm like this, and then return to where you were. Very rarely. The only time you do that is if your entire team has left. Like, everyone's gone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to point out that this Snapfire is, like, messing this up as much or more than you are. So, it's just, I saw this and I was like, eh. Like.
It's a 5 stack. I'm going to tell him.
Oh, yeah. You guys, yeah, there you go. You guys just got a kill and the 2 cores are in the same lane together.
Yeah.
That's literally why I paused and rewound it for you 25 seconds. Because, like, you are 5.5k. This is egregious. Like, this is the picture of you guys messing this up. So that's how you'd be like, okay, if we find ourselves laning together as 2 to farm some creeps, we should watch that back together. And, okay, so we're going to fast forward here.
I feel like when you're an offlaner, sometimes you kind of get used to, like, sitting in the bot lane, especially as Zoo.
Yeah, I get that. The point about 5K players is if you watch a lot of my sessions, I teach you guys, yeah, you're really good at doing the thing you're supposed to do in, like, 90% of scenarios, but you got to be more dynamic than that, basically. And that's where the skill comes in. Like, it's like, I know you do this, and it's correct most of the time, and we just need to talk about the fact that it's now understanding why it's correct so that you can then make exceptions to it. You know the rule.
I remember this.
Go ahead.
I made a big blunder in this Roche.
Okay.
I accidentally picked the Aegis up.
Oh, you took the Aegis, I see. It's not the end of the world. You guys are just going to walk at towers and take them, and Lifestealer is the one showing, which is not ideal. Okay. So my question for you is, what is the idea behind walking at this tower right here?
I think we just had Aegis and we felt strong, to put it simply.
Okay. So, what type of heroes do you dislike playing against as Lycan? How would you define these heroes?
Control. I would say CC. A lot of CC heroes you don't like playing against. Invoker Tidehunter.
Okay.
Who can waste seconds on your ultimate, I guess you want to say.
Okay. So, let me fix this real quick. We're doing another section of the notes section. What heroes do we not like playing against as Lycan? You said AoE control is what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes that waste time on your ulti. Is there any
Mm-hmm.
other type of hero? There's no right answer here. I'm curious what your answers are.
Maybe. Hmm, I'm trying to think. I guess heroes who can eat your creeps would be a simple answer, but I'm trying to think if there's something I'm not thinking of.
Sure. So, the thing I'm thinking of is a hero that stands in front of a tower and I can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Underlord.
Yeah.
Tidehunter. In Pro Dota, they refer to these heroes as wall heroes.
Mm.
Bristleback. Like, if a Bristleback walks at you while you're hitting a tower, like, what do you do?
There's not much you can do.
You literally can't do anything, right? So, like, what other heroes are there? It's Tide, it's Bristle, it's Underlord.
Centaur.
Centaur's okay. If he has a Crimson, yes. Heroes like Kunkka can be wall heroes. Timbersaw. I think that's about it. But those are predominant. Sand King. Sand King's a wall hero.
Yeah.
That's about it, I think. There may be others, but you get the idea of what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. More, so, AoE control heroes. I'll put your answer. I'll put my additional answer. My extra answer. Wall heroes. Heroes that stand in front of towers and you can't take them. So, when we push a tower, what are we trying to do? We are trying to make the wall hero respond, and then we leave.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If they don't have
So
a
you're not
wall
like
hero,
overcommitting.
if they don't have a wall hero, then you get to take the tower. But if they have a wall hero, our entire purpose is to make him show up there. That's the only reason we're doing this. You are hitting this tower because this guy's not allowed to be up here. So, we do that. We focus the tower. We focus. We see that? We leave. Lifestealer TP's top. Lycan walks bottom. Or probably Snapfire TP's top. Lifestealer walks his way through the jungle. You take bottom wave and back up. You're done here.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is a part of macro play on summons heroes. One of the most important things we learn is that there are wall heroes in the game, and we can't just ram our face into them.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions about this?
I guess the only question I would have would be like, I guess how do you then what is the workaround for as a summons when playing against these kind of heroes? Like what is the approach you have to take to play against these heroes?
What happens is every move becomes two-pronged. You force them to react somewhere, and you can do something with it. Whether that's just farm extra. Dude, him TPing back here is huge. Like, they're just sitting in their base.
Yeah.
Like, the workaround is you out-efficiency them. Now they're just sitting in their base. And, like, whoever's survivable enough to go farm top against Slark, they go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the rest of you back off together. Because, one, somebody has to clean up top wave because it's pushed out. And the rest of you need to make sure you don't get fucking killed here when the guy's TPing top. So we would all be... This is a 5-stack, so you'd be like, force the wall hero here. If Invoker shows up, but not Tide, you're still hitting this tower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing is, when... It doesn't surprise me, because I think your answer of AoE control heroes that waste time on your ulti, that's like a very good description of team fighting heroes that fuck you up. But... For summons, actually, the most annoying thing is when there's a hero that stands in front of the tower and I can't do anything about it. That just... I actually hate that the most. You know, late game, it can be carries. It can be, like, Lunas and stuff, you know? But, like, and Gyros and Medusas. Actually, Medusa's a wall hero as well. I forgot about Medusa. I was thinking about offlaners predominantly, but Medusa's a wall hero as well. So the workaround is to teach you that if you want to learn macro play, if they have no wall hero, you get whatever tower you walk at, trust that instinct. If they have wall heroes, you force them to react, and then you have to split up and farm. And we've already talked about the fact your split up and farm thing needs some work, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But we need to do that. Otherwise, you guys are going to get kind of capped. You know what I mean? Like, if we're not being efficient. So this was the moment where you were supposed to back. It's okay if you don't. But, you know, we're going to overcommit a little bit, I would say. This is just wall heroes. Literally a wall hero with Invoker. And the part about this that's like, you know, aches me to my bones is you guys are up 5k and this is happening. You know, you have a Boots of Travel Snapfire and top lane is hitting your tier 2 with 5 creeps dying. You know, that's what bothers me when we're up by 5k. It's like, we could do whatever the fuck we want, and we're ramming our face into a Tidehunter while Slark free farms up top. Like, I already know this is generally not good for you guys. Like, I know you guys get 2 kills for 1, but the net worth
went down.
Yeah, the net worth actually went in favor of them, yeah. Okay. You haven't taken an Ancient yet, as far as I've seen. Do you not like the Ancient camps, creeps?
I do like some of them, but I think I don't really like some of them I have trouble microing with, so.
I see.
Like the ice one, I don't think is as good. If it was like what's the Ancient Satyrs? That's what they're called?
Yeah.
And the Black Dragon, those are good. Those are goated ones.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so why did this play work, right? Let's talk about this. So you have Aegis. They're respawning on 2 heroes. Lifestealer actually decided to skip the wave. That's pretty ballsy as a carry player. But you guys are connecting because you're playing in a 5-stack. So we're all collapsing on a fight. You're showing up with Aegis but no ult. But your wolves are actually going ham. I mean, you guys felt strong enough to walk at them, and there's a big difference between walking out at them on the map where they're all scattered and versus where Tide's literally a wall for the rest of the team. There's a big difference here. You're seeing it. For me, I actually think of Lycan as like, who do I have to run through to kill somebody? Like, that's what I think about when it comes. So what's really interesting to me is when I asked you earlier, what do you think about team fights? You told me what your targets were and what you thought was good about your hero. And I want you to now see that location on the map heavily dictates whether or not you can do the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you flanking these guys from the side, like, you never hit Tide. You didn't want to hit Tide. Like, you never even looked at him. So it's like, you have good target priority, but I want you to see that when a Tide TPs into a tier 2 tower and stands in front of it, you don't get to hit anybody.
With Ags, yeah. And he can, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Like, now, you know, when you said that about, like, these wall heroes, like, I just had, like, an epiphany of why I hate playing against some of these heroes so much.
There you go. So, yeah.
It was like, why do I hate Sand King? It's because he's, like, good against all my heroes.
You know why I hated Spear Breaker? When I was, like, this was, like, most of my early pro career, I hated Spear Breaker. Is because I loved rotating between lanes and jungle to farm, and I played single target heroes like Lifestealer and Slark, and he just killed me on waves, and I wouldn't like adjust my farming patterns. So like, he was the only hero in the game that would kill me in these scenarios. And instead of like learning heroes that buy Manta, I just, you know, kept playing the same heroes, and I told my team, Spearbreaker's unbeatable. You can ask my teammates. Like, literally on a pro team, I said, this hero's unfucking beatable. What do we do? And so it's usually, when we feel really strongly about hating a hero, it's usually because we don't understand why they're strong against the heroes we like to play. That's been my experience. So there's 2 options for dealing with it. Or 3 options. There's 1, learning how to play it ourselves. 2, understanding what's generally good against it. Or 3, understanding how we need to adjust if we're playing against it with a hero that's, like, not good against it. So, like, if I'm Lifestealer, I would need to show on creep waves less often against Spearbreaker, and I would need to buy Manta instead of SNY because I need to push creep waves, and I can't show on them without because they're Spearbreaker. That's like an example. But so yeah, for you, if you're gonna see a tide TP in and you're gonna ram your face into the tower anyways, like, that basically says, you don't know how to adjust to these counters.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just important to note. Okay, so what's interesting about this scenario, the pause. I mean, we got a kill here. So we got 3 kills, and I'm a Lycan. So, like, sure, I want to, like, show up and maybe help kill this Invoker, but, like, this is, like, the most cut and dry, take a tier 1 tower, I would hope, It's just like, I'm just going to go take this tower, guys. What's up?
Yeah, I think we kind of, like, split up here. I don't know what happened.
Do you know what happened here? Your team went for more. But that's not what your team does. We talked about the 3 options.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, kill more people, which their move on the map here only makes sense if you're trying to kill more people. Like, what's the point in being here instead of just farming these 2 camps? Like, if you're trying to farm aggressively, if you're trying to take an objective, it's this. If you're trying to farm, it's this. This just doesn't do anything. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, see what you're saying.
So I wanted to turn from, it's not we just split up. You did split up, but I want you to see that, like, it's one of the 3 options, and the only option that standing here would function as is potentially killing somebody who walks up the hill. But you already talked about it. That's not what your lineup really does. You're heavily reliant on ults and cooldowns. So, you're just gonna, I mean, you end up ulting to try to help them. Which, for me, the problem in a 5-stack sometimes is, like, if you're in a solo queue pub, you're just gonna hit this fucking tower. And you're gonna let this guy die. 5 stacks can backfire. Because sadly, your Rubik's out of position, and instead of you getting a tier 1 tower and just walking away for free like you would in a pub, your Lifestealer also dies. And then you don't even get the tower. So, that's, like, pretty brutal. The goal of... So, there's mostly positives to 5 stacks. Like, I think on average, like, it's a better experience for Dota. You'll learn faster, all that kind of stuff. But the most important thing about all this, like, obviously you're the one that signed up for coaching, but your friends can watch this and stuff. It's like, I would want you functioning under, am I killing more people? Am I getting an objective? Or am I splitting up and farming? And if I saw you doing that in your 5-stack where you're like, I thought we were just supposed to get an objective, and your friends just, like, walked in and died, that would mean that would mean you learned. Easier said than done in a 5-stack. It may never happen. But I'm just saying that you have to have really strong conviction to not get baited in a 5-stack. You have to be like, I know exactly what I'm supposed to fucking do. There's no way that's correct. I'm going to do this. If you have, like, a shred of doubt, you're just going to follow them in and die. So I'm just pointing out that it's actually nice. I always say it's nice if, I don't know what your balance is, but I always recommend to people certain things are best learned in solo queue. So if you play a small percentage of your game solo queue, I think that would help as well.
I play most of my games in solo.
Okay.
I actually prefer it.
Okay. Why is that?
It's just like one of... I don't know. I just like playing
your friends suck or what?
Not like they suck. I just like... I just like the vibe of solo. It's like chill,
Yeah. What do you like about Dota generally?
Just like another way to be competitive, like a competitive environment, like learning.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I mean, solo queue is definitely a different vibe than party queue, that's for sure.
Party queue makes me kind of stressed, but solo queue is more chill.
Do you want me to give thoughts on that? I'm also happy to leave it there. I'm not trying to, like, bait you. Would you like my thoughts on that or no?
No, you can give me your thoughts. I'm cool.
Okay. Basically, for me, in my experience, I've always felt the same way as you. I've always felt the sentiment you just raised about, it's a different vibe. Solo queue is kind of chill. I've always felt that way. And for me, in my own experience, it's because I didn't know how to communicate in a team setting. So when I was communicating in my professional teams and in party queue, it actually made things worse. So I got kind of conditioned to not communicate anymore. Like, you just subconsciously pick up on, like, every time I say something, like, net negative happens.
Yeah.
So I'm just not going to say anything anymore. And then what ends up happening is, as I'm like, oh, the way to fix that is to not say anything anymore. And then there's times where I need my friend to do something for me, and I don't tell him, and then he doesn't do it, and I, like, resent him for it. And then rather than it being, like, some pub guy where I can be like, he didn't, like, whatever, he's just doing his own thing, he's a pub guy. It's, like, my friend, so then I'm like, man, he just never fucking pulls for me. And it's been, like, the 10th game in a row that he doesn't do that. And then, I'm not saying that's your experience, but I'm saying, like, that was my experience. Did any of that resonate with you, or even remotely?
I mean, yeah, I understand, yeah.
Okay. So for me, all I'm trying to say is when people have that sentiment that they don't like, that like solo queue is a nice vibe and they prefer it, I basically just say, like, that is probably a sign that we could talk about communication, but it doesn't have to be something we ever talk about. I'm just saying that, for me, as I've learned more about how to communicate better, I like, it's the same thing for me in terms of school and work. I never really liked working with people. And as I've gotten better at communicating, I actually love working with people now. I mean, it's still stressful because communication is fucking hard, and, situations could get complicated or whatever. But the point is, like, I find it can be, it's really nice, it's nice to find the balance, right? I think if there was an option for me to party queue nowadays, I would do like 50-50. But there's no fucking real option for ranked party queue.
There's like a big, in Dota, there's like a large psychological aspect to it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm interested in learning about the communication aspect too, like anything to improve,
Yeah, I mean, if that's something you're interested in, I don't think it's probably best for today, since we've given you a lot to think about. But, if you come back in the future and, we can always talk about also doing a thing with your 5-stack at some point. That's an option. I'm just saying, it can't be just you. It can be your 5-stack as well. But the point is that, like, there was one time that I coached a duo between two brothers. It was actually kind of funny because one of them got, like, sick or whatever, and he didn't show up. But the point of it was to talk to them about communicating as a duo. So one of them wasn't there. But it was funny because it was a little brother, big brother scenario. And the big brother was higher MMR. And I basically spent the time telling him that there was actually a growing amount of dependency from the little brother, expecting his big brother to carry him. And it was causing, like, this, like, lack of reflection on the little brother's behalf. And it was causing, like, a sense of guilt, and thus basically really bad plays from the higher MMR guy. And I thought that was really interesting because, basically a lot of that session was, hey, we need to learn how to communicate with this stuff and acknowledge, like, this is what's happening. We love playing together, but this sucks, And so I enjoy that kind of stuff. So if that interests you, in the future, happy to just coach you and talk about it. Happy to, coach your buds, whatever. Just, it is interesting to me. So, and I do think it's helpful. Okay. Back to the game, or any other final thoughts from you there?
Back to the game. Like, okay. I think we're getting to the point in the game where, like, when the game kind of started, like, slipping away from us.
Okay. So, we got a kill. I understand that you guys still have Lycan ulti, and that you are 5v4. But in my experience, when you get kills on summons heroes, 99% of the time, you're supposed to close the map for the opponent. What a lost fight for the opponent means is that they lose map control by having lanes shoved into them. You create this, like, ever-impending doom that they're going to get locked into their base. So, even though there were mistakes that we talked about prior, what you did here at 19 minutes, where you push the tower and force them back, that's the fucking exact goal of your hero. That they can't farm lanes as efficiently and safely as you can, because you've got all these summons, right? And then eventually they get stuck in their base, and you just get massive net worth advantage, and you get free Roches and free Tormentors and stuff like that, and then you just like win the game. So what oftentimes you never do, not never, but very rarely do as a summons hero, is walk up high grounds into the opponent. Like, we just don't really do that. So, like, I get this kill on Slark, and my thought is, okay, Snapfire is going to TP bottom. I'm going to, like, walk this way. Lifestealers and the other two are going to stay here. And what's going to happen is Snapfire is going to clear this. I'm going to walk through here, like, farming these camps up to this wave. And then what's going to happen when this Slark respawns is that this wave's pushed in, this wave's pushed in, this wave's pushed in, and then Snapfire has bots again, and then she TPs to you guys, and you're like, let's see what they do. Does somebody defend bottom? Does somebody defend top? If not, we get a free Tormentor. Like, that's what I would do here. And I know that's complicated. Like, I just laid out, like, a really complex fucking plan. But basically the point is you're learning that the two disasters that happened in this game, there's 3 disasters. The first one wasn't a disaster. It's more just not great. The first disaster was the first not great thing was walking into a tower with a wall hero in it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you got to kill top, and then your team tried to pursue kills. Like, meaning maybe that wasn't exactly what he was thinking, but his positioning implied pursuing kills with the Rubik right here.
Yeah.
And then in this case, you got a kill, and you guys went for the play that gets you more kills. Like, that's what running into their triangle aggressively means, right? Like, you're looking to kill them, right? So, I'm basically trying to show you that we're talking about summons heroes on a macro sense. The majority of the time, kills mean map control. They don't mean killing more people. And so that's something you can talk to your teammates about, but I often think Lycan is a very team plan defining hero. Like, the entire plan revolves around this hero, basically. Like, I will play significantly differently if I have a Lycan offlane.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell you that your hero does heavily shape this, so for your friends to watch, like, they can know, like, oh, I can learn to adjust to my, my friend playing Lycan. If you're playing, fucking Axe, yeah, kill the Slark and run into their triangle, But if you're playing Lycan, or, like, Visage, or, if you're playing Beastmaster, you can run into their triangle if you'd like, because, he can kill people too, but, the point is that Lycan's very hard on the summons route. Like, he's an ultra summons hero in the sense that he has all these summons, they're really powerful, and he has absolutely no lockdown. So, Beastmaster's a little bit of a hybrid there. Visage is like, Beastmaster's like very much a hybrid. Visage is like still heavy on the low stun route, but he does have some stun. Like, he has a slow, and his birds can stun you. So it's like, it's more than Lycan, basically. So yeah. I'm just trying to point out to you the similarities of all the situations that have gone wrong. And I think it all goes back to, you get a successful fight or a successful gank. Are you killing more people, getting an objective, or are you splitting up and farming? And you're learning that when you go for kills on summons heroes, it can be kind of a yikes. I do think your Snapfire shouldn't be leading in like this, but, I would have loved if we just had somebody TP here, you TP here, your teammates defend this wave, and then you guys, like, convene at this Tormentor. That would be sick. If it's not as fast as I'm saying it, it's still better than what you did, I promise. That's... The goal is that you guys know that's what you're supposed to do, or even more importantly, know, like, you're not supposed to run for more kills. And if we do that, then, we can... Is that a penis, or are you trying to draw on the map? No, I'm kidding. That did look like a penis.
I didn't even remember doing that.
I think you were drawing, actually... I think you were actually... Maybe you were drawing a penis intentionally. Either way. That's why I rewound. But the point is, I want you to see that the good fights happen after you push a wave, and everyone on your team is, like, separate. Everyone on their team is separated. And, like, look at when the good fights are happening. They're separated, you're separated, and then you, like, kill somebody. Do you see what I mean? That's happened every time. That's literally been the formula for, like, even the fight where you guys won right here, it started with They were all separated. Your hoodwink got initiated onto. They like went to the hoodwink, and it was kind of like some crazy skirmishy like garbage fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's summons heroes. They want these like trash fights. Like they don't want we're 5, you're 5, bring it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that make
Okay.
especially because they have this Tide Invoker. Yeah.
So guess what? We're in the same spot again. Are we going for more kills? Are we taking an objective? Or are we splitting up and farming? So for me, it'd be an objective. So you guys might go do it. Okay, you're going to go do it. Fantastic. So now we've got the objective. I think we're done getting objectives because Bounty Hunter is going to be respawned. I don't think this is good. Maybe it works out, but I wouldn't go for this tower, I don't think. Maybe I'm here to force Tide back. Okay, great. We force Tide. Leave. Like, actually,
Yeah.
same thing. We forced Tide. Get the fuck out.
This game has been like the same situation over and over.
Yep.
And I think we go.
It looks like you end up getting the tower, but yeah. It's like, imagine you saw the Tide and just you retreat as a team. Your lifestealer like TPs, or maybe like your lifestealer goes here, you go here. Snapfire TPs here, and then whatever. The point is that's more complicated, and the reason why the majority of party queues especially walk at the tower is here's your two options. Walk at the tower, that's option 1. Or 2, let's walk at the tower looking to force a reaction. When Tide comes back, we're going to split up in 3 separate directions. This guy's going to TP here, you're going to go there, and I'm going to go there. Why do you think the party queue chooses to walk at the tower? Like, you see what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm saying one option is much simpler than the other option. But the point is,
I think sometimes I feel like sometimes you also like when you're in party queue, like people get in the mood where like if you're farming, like you're not doing anything on the map. Maybe it feels like that to some people.
I feel that.
And it kind of, yeah.
I get that. And it's something that you guys could even go to, like, as a team, I think, like, as a group of friends, you could even bring that up. Like, that if there's one communication lesson from today, you could be like, hey, guys, I had a coaching session with BSJ, and we were talking about, like, what to do after kills. And I noticed that we kept going at towers when Tide was alive, and we talked about, like, maybe going for other waves. And I realized that a lot of times in party queue, it feels like if we're farming, maybe it feels like we're not doing anything. Does anyone else feel that way? You know? And if they say, like, yeah, and it's just be like, hey, guys, like, just because we're party queuing, farming is an essential part of Dota 2. Like, that's not something that we, like, I would like that to change. Like, I would like us to think that efficiently farming is a big part of this, and it is a team effort. Like, notice how all the times I've talked about farming, I'm not saying you should go here. I'm saying this guy does that, this guy does that, this guy does that. You know what I mean? Like, it is a team effort to farm the map properly. So I'd like to draw attention to that. Basically the team aspect of farming.
And especially when you're playing Zoo, like you're saying, you're trying to close off the map, and pushing those waves in forces someone to come and respond to those waves.
Yeah. The fact is, every time you've pushed a wave, they've separated, which is, like you said, what happens. And then you've just gotten, like, random kills on a bounty hunter, or like a Slark or a Tide or whatever. And then every time you've, like, rammed your face into a tower, it's been a disaster. And that's just because, honestly, if those tower takes were the exact same, but you forced the wall hero there, basically, if you have this changed, let's not exactly worry about a wall hero. If you had this one thing, is when you walk up to a tower, as a summons hero, you're not thinking about how do I get the tower? Like, okay, when you walk up to a tower, right now, you are thinking about getting the tower. I want you to think about, replace that with, what reaction am I trying to force? It could be Tide Hunter. It could be, if they don't have a wall hero, but they have, like, decently strong team fight, and you force, like, 3 of them to TP, that might be it. You know what I mean? I want you to think of pushing a tower as you're creating pressure. You're not doing it to take the tower. You're doing it to create the pressure. That's what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll go through that and be like, there's no fucking reaction in the world that I give a shit about. We're taking this tower. But
Yeah.
most games, that's not the case. Like, most games, people, like, if you have a game where they can't do anything about it, you probably won anyway. You know?
Mhm.
Like, if they have, like, fucking anti-mage carry and, like, Arc Warden mid and shit, and you can just, like, walk high ground at 20 minutes, it's like, you know, who cares? So you don't really need to learn much from that game. You hit your timings, you'll win. But yeah, so we're coming up, you know, towards the hour mark here. So I just want to, you know, kind of check in and see where we're at, and if there's anything you wanted more out of this game, or if you wanted me to take like a quick gander at like another replay or anything like that.
Oh, it's already an hour. That's crazy. That flew by. No, I was just really interested about this game, and I feel like I learned a lot, especially because I play this kind of archetype of hero often. I don't know if there's any other replays because I didn't really play that much this week, but
I mean, I personally, like, I usually try to have a gauge of, did I give the person enough to walk away thinking with? And that's partially like, do I have enough notes? But it's mainly like, does it sound like they're thinking? Meaning like, sounds like you're kind of pondering what we've talked about, which I think is,
yeah,
that's a good sign. So, you know, I think it is equally detrimental to like overload juice. So that's why I usually have that check-in. But for me, I personally think we're in a good spot, meaning with the amount that we've talked about today. You know,
yeah,
the last thing I like to go over is just, you know, rough idea. Preferably, I can give it to you, but preferably it's from your own like vibe check. What would you like? Like, what would you like to kind of work on first, so that when you check in with a replay, like, what vibes are you going for first? Like, out of all of this, what do you think you want to work on first? Basically,
out of all of this, I want to work on after these fights. What am I gonna like? What are we doing after these fights? And like applying our draft and their draft and the enemy team's draft, and see what are we gonna be doing after we win a fight. Maybe gauging that more in the pregame, so I have like a game plan, so I don't have to like overload myself, but can still like think about it. You know?
yeah, absolutely. I think that's great. So I think when you replay submit, you would just, I think a great with that would be that you say, hey, going into this game, I was thinking that after fights, we're going to do this. And when we force towers, we're going to do that. Like, we're looking to make this guy TP, and this is what we did. You know? I think that's great, though. I think what you said is a good way to implement what we talked about. And I think it's a good way to go. So,
All right.
any other questions from you?
No,
Cool.
it was great. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, I'm going to be sending you the notes that I've been taking this whole time. I enjoyed myself as well. Thanks for signing up. And I'll have a good one, dude.
Yeah.
See ya.
You too, homie. See ya.
There you go. Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. I have another coaching session in about an hour, so I'll be back then. I'm going to go take a break to eat some dinner. Hope you guys enjoyed that session. I actually need to